Hi everyone, thank you for coming to this Otago meetup. Last week I talked about our Repo 4 for total analysis of honey. Today I'm going to be talking about another one of our popular units, the PAL salt probe. This is what it looks like. It comes with this and then this attachment right here. This unit is perfect for the food and beverage industries, as well as can be used in a lab or a processing facility. So I'm just gonna go over a basic overview of the unit, what's included, and then we will get into doing some measurements. So to start off, alrighty, so this is the PAL salt probe, and it comes with this, like I mentioned. This unit indicates salt concentration in percentage by the electric conductivity method. If the sample contains ingredients other than salt, you want to dilute it so that its Brix value measured by the refractometer is less than 6% before measurement. This unit is also equipped with a TC feature, or automatic temperature compensation. Temperature compensation is performed when the sample temperature is equal to the temperature of the sensor, or right here. It's important to note that if your sample is warmer or colder than room temperature, the electrode pins need to acclimate to the sample, so you want to wait a couple minutes just to make sure everything is about the same temperature. This unit also has IP65 rating, or International Protection Classification. And although the PAL salt probe is water resistant and may be cleaned under running water, it is not waterproof, so please do not submerge the instrument underwater. So what this unit comes with, it will come with the body, so the PAL salt probe, this part right here. It'll also come with an instruction manual, two AAA batteries, a calibration report, as well as a reference solution of 2.50%, 30 milliliters. So that is everything that this unit comes with. And now we're just gonna go over a little bit about the unit itself and what exactly all the parts are for this unit. So for the parts, for the electrode probe, you're gonna wanna take off, this is just a protection cap. It'll cover the pins, if you can see them, let's see, right there. So this cap is there to just protect those pins when it is being stored. But there are 4 electrode pins. The inner pair of the pins detect the electrical conductivity. If you can see, let me see if I can get so the 4 pins right here. And then there are an outer pair of pins, and one also serves as a thermometer. So there's 4 total. The 2 in the middle, the thinner ones, will measure the electrical conductivity, and the 2 thicker outer ones right here and right here, one serves as a thermometer, and they're also a guide. And then you have your connector portion on this end right here. This is what is going to connect to the actual main body of the unit right here. All right. It's also important to note that the electrode pins, if they become damaged, you can replace them. If you need to purchase more electrode pins, you can contact us at Otago, USA. All right, so now I am just going to go over connecting the electrode probe to the main body. So like I mentioned, you're going to use this right here, and as you can see, there are four holes right here, which will connect with the 4 internal holes in the main body of the unit. So we're just gonna connect them. You wanna make sure everything's lined up. You can just press gently, and then you're gonna wanna twist this metal part right here, just like that, making sure that it is nice and secure. So this is what it's gonna look like. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start by zero setting. So you want to zero set this unit every day prior to using the instrument. If necessary, make sure that you clean the electrode pins with tap water right here if they have a sample on it, or any salinity sample. You want to make sure everything's nice and cleaned off so you can zero set the unit. In the condition that the electrode is touching nothing except air, so you want to make sure when you're zero setting that you're touching nothing but air, and it will indicate that it is zero set. So we're going to turn on the unit, press the start button, just like that, and then we're going to press the zero set right here. All right, just like that. And now the instrument is zero set. We can press it one more time. And it'll flash, and then once it is done flashing, it'll display the 000, which means that the instrument is now zero set. After the 000 is displayed, zero setting has been successfully completed, and the pulse salt probe is ready to use. So before measuring, when the salt probe is used for the first time in your day, you want to submerge the electrode pins in actual sample and wipe the sample off, and then submerge them again and press the start key. That's just an important note when using the pulse salt probe. So I'm going to start by using a pickle brine solution right here, and we're just going to gently place the probe into the brine solution like that. All right, just let it sit there for a couple minutes just to acclimate, just like that. It's also important to note, while we're letting this sit for a minute, that stabbing the electrode probe against any hard objects, maybe you have a sample that is harder than others, you want to be very careful that you do not bend or damage the electrode pins. Though they are pretty durable, you want to make sure that you are not hitting or damaging any of the pins. Though they are replaceable, it still can cause damage, and that will cost you more money if you are not careful. All right, so we have let that submerge for a second. We're just going to take this and wipe it off, just like that. Okay. We're going to place it back into the brine or the pickle solution like that, and turn it on. Great, and we'll press the start button. See if you can see here. Let's fire. All right, press start. 2.3. Okay, perfect. So we're getting a pretty stable reading. I want to press one more time. 2.3. Perfect. All right, so now that we have done that, we can move on to a couple other samples that I have here. I have cheese and a sausage, and then some kimchi, and then a pickle as well, just to show that this unit is very versatile and can measure a variety of different samples. So take this off, And we'll just clean it from the solution, this. And like I mentioned, you can clean it under running water, but make sure you're not submerging the unit completely. Right, and you just gently clean the electrode parts. All right. Just like that. All right. So we can measure our pickle now. Here are these samples that I have today to use with this tool. All right, so for solid objects, you're gonna want to gently just insert the metal pieces right here, the electrodes, into the sample. So you're just gonna take it like this and just gently insert into the sample, just like that. And I have found that for best measurements, you want to actually not move the sample, because that could cause the electrodes to pick up different parts. Some parts might be more salty than others, so you just want to make sure that it's stable. And you can press the start button. Right, just like that. Press it again. Right, and because this because this pickle was in that brine solution, it was a little bit cold, so we can wait a couple of seconds just to let it acclimate a little bit. Okay. Press it a couple more times to get it stable. Okay, perfect. All right, so that was the pickle. Just take that off. So very easy to use, a very easy tool to use. Can be used for a variety of different samples, as you can see. Can be dipped in liquids, brine solutions, as well as used to measure solid samples like the cheese and the sausage I have here. Right, we're just going to clean that off again. Okay. Just like that. And we'll do the sausage next. So the same thing, the sausage is a little cold, it was in the fridge, so you're just gonna gently insert, let me see, gently insert the prongs into the sausage, just like that. Make sure they're in there completely, just like that. And then we're gonna press the start button. Okay, 0.44. And like I mentioned, the sausage was a little cold, so we're gonna wait a couple seconds, then we'll press it again and see if we can get the same reading. Right. 0.43, perfect. All right, just some important notes. If you are getting some error messages, I do have some solutions. So if you are reading LO, that just means that there's a battery error and your battery should be replaced. You can also see on the unit right here when your batteries are getting low. You should probably change your batteries. If you see HHH, that just means it's out of range and that the sample measured value is out of the measurement range. Could either be too high or too low. If you see a temperature error, you just want to make sure that the electrode pin temperature is below the temperature range. All right, so now that we've done those two, we'll move on to the cheese. One other thing to mention is when you have a sample like cheese, it's typically very thin or sliced. There are blocks as well, but if you have the thinly sliced cheese, we do recommend you taking the sample and folding it a couple times to get a thicker sample so that the probe can be inserted completely into the sample. As you can see here, this is one or two pieces of cheese, but it is folded over like that to get the thicker sample for the probe. Right. Now we're just going to rinse that, get the sausage salt off of there. Gently wipe. Okay. Perfect. Just like that. Okay. So for this one, we can just gently stick it in like this. And it is going through the entire sample. If you look on the bottom, it's not sticking through at all. So you want to make sure if you are doing something and sticking it directly down, you want to make sure the probes are not getting damaged on the bottom, and that the sample is completely covering those electrode pins. Great. And we'll go ahead and press the start button. Great. 0.34. And this cheese was also a little cold because it was in the fridge. So we'll compress one more time and see if we'll get the same. 0.34, compress one more time. 0.33, so it's acclimating a little bit because of the temperature. 0.33, okay, perfect. All right. Now that we've gotten those, I just want to mention some factors that could affect measurement results. Like I mentioned, you want to make sure that if you have a thin sample that you are layering and making sure that all the probes are being covered by the sample to get the most accurate measurement. Also, the detection method of this salt meter is the conductivity method, like I mentioned in the beginning of this meetup, and the displayed value corresponds to the salt concentration indicated in percentage. So it is grams divided by 100 grams. The measurement range is between 0.00% and 7% of concentration. So if your sample is outside of that range, if it is over 7%, you could get some issues. Pickles, brine solutions, sausage are typically very salty, and as you can see here, they are well within that range, so there are no issues there. I am also going to show you one more sample that I have that I mentioned, the kimchi. This is kind of a mixture of cabbage and liquid, as you can see there. So it is just one more sample I want to show you to give you more versatility with this unit. I'm just gonna switch out. Okay, so righty, this was also in the fridge, so it is a little bit cold. I'm just gonna put it in just like that. Make sure that the pins are getting completely submerged into the solution. Okay, and just being mindful that they are not touching any of the glass part. Right, just like that. You can press the start button. 1.14, might fluctuate a little bit just with the temperature. Okay, that's to be expected. I'll press it one more time. Okay. So the measurement is going down, but this is pretty cold, so we can give that a second to acclimate. While we're letting that acclimate, I just want to mention also that it is advised to dilute the sample whose Brix is more than 6%. So if you are unsure if your sample is 6% or over for Brix, we do have other units that can assist you with measuring that Brix percentage to find out exactly what your Brix measurement is. If it is over 6%, we do advise that you dilute your samples. Also, if the ingredients, if there are ingredients other than salt, you want to make sure that you are perhaps using a different unit. But like I mentioned, all of these samples are highly salty, and this unit works perfectly. All of them are under that 10% range, so you should not have an issue at all. If you are diluting the sample with water 10 times as thin as the original, so you want to add the 90 grams of water to 10 grams of sample, much like some of our other instruments, and you want to make sure that the sample is completely dissolved into the water before you take your measurements. If you are diluting, you will then submerge your electrode probe into the sample solution and measure it. So that is if you are measuring and need to dilute your sample. That is kind of the process that you will do for that. So some specifications for this unit. The range is, like I mentioned, 0.00 to 7% of salt concentration. Also 5 to 100 degrees Celsius. So this can measure samples at a pretty low and pretty high temperature range. You just need to make sure that they are being acclimated to the pins when you are measuring. So it can measure higher range temperatures, but you just need to make sure everything's acclimated when you are taking your measurements. So we can go ahead and press this one more time. It's been sitting a while. Okay, 1.03, 1.04. So it's pretty consistent for that one. Around 1.03, 1.04. Perfect. So now it's stable. So that is how you do that. You just let it sit and make sure if you are using samples, you want to acclimate them, like I mentioned. Resolution for this one is 0.01% for salt concentration of 0.00 to 1.99%. For measurement accuracy, the displayed value is plus or minus 0.1% for this one. The relative precision, plus or minus less than 5%. For salt concentration of 2.125%. The relative precision is plus or minus less than 10%. So for salt concentration of 5.1 to 7.0%. And that is specifically too for brines. Brines tend to typically be higher in salinity levels than samples are, just in their nature. So that's just something important to note. For repair and warranty for this unit, the Palisalt probe is warranted for 1 year after the date of purchase against any manufacturer defect in material or workmanship. Since the Palisalt probe is a precise electrode electronic instrument, please take care when using it. If you drop the unit, that is not considered under warranty because it is a user kind of issue, but it is under warranty for 1 year. You can also register this unit as well. But great tool to have, very easy. As you've seen, I have done a variety of different samples. I did pickles, brine, sausage, cheese, and kimchi. So a versatile variety of samples that this unit works super well for. Very easy to clean. You can stick under running tap water. Do not submerge the unit because it is water resistant, not waterproof, but very easy to clean, as you can see. If you have a solution or a sample that can kind of get stuck in the probes, you can just run it under a little bit more intense tap water and it should come right off just like that. So very easy to use, very simple, handheld, small, lightweight, easy to store. This unit is really a must-have in the food and beverage industry when you are determining your salinity and specifications needed to make sure that your product and your samples are within ranges for consistency and quality. Just a great unit to have. If you have any questions about this unit or would like to try a demo, please feel free to contact us at Otago USA, and we'd be more than happy to send you a demo of this unit, as well as any of the other units I've talked about previously in these meetups. We do allow trial and demos for any of our customers. All that we ask is that you pay return shipping, but we cover charges and costs to you, so all you need to do is compare with what you're currently using, if you're currently using anything, and we'd be more than happy to set anything up for you in regards to that. So if this isn't something you've tried before and you're curious, interested in trying it, please feel free to contact us. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming to this Otago meetup and going over this pal salt probe unit with me. We will be discussing more units in the coming weeks, so please contact us if you have any questions on this unit or any other units we've talked about previously. And please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We look forward to talking with you guys soon. Thanks so much.